Welcome to the top 16 of the Discord League finals. On top, we've got Etaywah playing Scorpion Splash Crab, and on the bottom, we have Mida MoZi playing Crab Splash Phoenix. I'm Void Circuit, and I'm joined today with Insanity, and we're going to be walking you through this game.
Yep, so it should be an exciting matchup. It definitely looks like it's probably going to be a race to the bottom for honor, as that's what Scorpion tends to do, just force you down. And Crab can do it just as well.
Okay, Hida MoZi's taking 2 cards in the mulligan for the conflict deck, and it seems like Etaywah is going to keep his hand of 2 forced shames, an assassination, and a outwit. Can you see the hands as well, Insanity?
No, I can't. You can only have one GM, so they picked you to be that, so you get to see the hands where I get to guess what they have. But both players do flip their champions, so
Yeah,
this should be quite interesting.
Yeah, champions on turn 1, though, is not necessarily what you want to see because there's so few characters on the board. There's going to be a lot of undefended attacks. Though I suppose if one player chooses to go for the champion, it leaves that open for the other one. But we'll see here. Scorpion is going first, and it's either going to be an Otoma Courtier and the Favored Niece, or Shoju. And I think the Favored Niece is a pretty weak choice, especially early game. So we might see some champion action. He also did uncover a favorable ground, so as the first player, he could attack in with Shoju and see if the opposing player decides to defend. And if they do, great, you can just back out with favorable ground and then attack again the second turn, or the second conflict of the phase, undefended, because if their champion is out, hey, no big deal. And that's going to be all 7 of his fate.
If the crowd responds with Casada, Scorpion will have to do some kind of action before doing favorable ground, or Shoju will be stuck and favorable ground will be lost. But it looks like maybe they're deciding not to go with Shoju after all. See a rewind here.
Okay, he goes with the courtier play. I think he realized he's indeed playing against Wave the Crab. So Hida Guardian could immediately take him out if MoZi had Wave the Crab, which he doesn't, fortunately, for Etaywah, but he doesn't know that yet.
It's always better to play around the possibilities that your opponent might have than the chances that they don't actually have it.
Mm-hmm. And Etaywah comes with a nice quip. Let's not lose turn 1, shall we? All right, MoZi goes for a Hida Guardian with 1 fate on him. That seems like a fair bet. He currently doesn't have a holding in play, so he's not going to benefit from that ability, but it is an extra blocker, so there we go. After that, I can probably guess that the Hida Guardian, maybe the Borderlands Defender, it's about a 50-50. What do you think?
So probably the Defender and just play defensively this turn. Etaywah could still bring out Shoju here, now that he has a character to sacrifice to Way of the Crab, and I think that's what he's looking at doing. And indeed he does, so we're going to get a 1 fate Shoju instead of a 2 fate Shoju.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. When you have those expensive characters, you really want to try to invest more than 1. Especially if you get voided, that's it. You're done, and you invested 6 fate into a character that only lasted 1 round, and that's a lot. But it looks like he's probably got a plan to maybe take void first turn and try not to have it thrown back at him.
Yeah, that's a good option there. Take that fate off of the Hida Guardian. So.
Okay, and he elects to go Border Defender with 0 additional fate. Another interesting choice, especially since he gave 1 to the Guardian. Not sure I agree with that fully, but 5 bids coming out from both players. The honor bid problem is going to happen soon, but not this turn.
Everyone wants to get set up. I imagine that maybe the Crab player is looking for an assassination and a Way of the Crab here.
Okay. So, yeah, he's got Wave the Crab, and Assassination, which means his board is forfeit if Hida MoZi wants to start going down in honor. It's turn 1. It's not the worst idea. What he's got to be watching out for here is Forged Edict that could cancel the Way the Crab effect, which is pretty brutal because, as you may know, the cost is sacrificing a character.
Could also cancel that assassination, which cost is 3 honor.
Yeah. So it's the Scorpion player Etaywah's opportunity to go first. Basically, many of the rings are fair game. Earth is probably one of the least. Air, I would be careful since Crab is keeper of the air, so it would give him an extra fate on defense. Fire ring, it's kind of neutral. I could see Void happening, but it's just the Hida Guardian. So yeah, lots of choices.
Yep.
Seems like he's considering Void or Water and elects Void. Makes sense. He's going to choose to throw it at the Quesada province because, of course, if you break the province, Quesada will not be showing up next turn.
Yep. Looks like he's swinging in with both. The Guardian can die to Shoju, so got to be careful of that.
Okay.
Full display.
Yeah. Shameful display. That's pretty good for it's pretty good for MoZi here. Bayushu Shoju has 2 glory, while the Borderlands Defender has 1, so it's effectively a swing of 3, as well as some honor that will come down later. He also has the Otomo Courtier hanging back for a later political defense, but I think if I was Hida MoZi, the second attack this turn, or the second conflict this turn would not be political, so we'd probably get an undefended attack, which is pretty good. Of course, you still have to be wary of assassinations and the like. Yeah.
It's currently 5-4 in this conflict, so not breaking at the moment, but we'll see what the Scorpion player has to pump up and get rid of this Quesada.
Okay. Yeah, I think MoZi can let this conflict go. He doesn't really need to win it. Losing 1 fate off the Hida Guardian is not too bad. What he really needs to do is just make sure a break doesn't happen. There we go. He sees the line of play. He's going for an assassination. And is this going to get forged?
Thinking about it.
Alright, he lets it go. Though he's got to suspect Wave the Crab right now. There's very little reason to assassinate someone out of the conflict unless you expect Wave the Crab. Yep, there he goes. Wave the Crab. And he elects to kill off his own.
Shoju was already dishonored, so he didn't have a courtier dishonor to do Forged Edict.
Okay. So that's the end of that conflict. I imagine both players will pass now that there are no characters present. It's going to be MoZi's opportunity to attack in here, but he has to worry about assassination as well.
Yep. It could just be an entire board wipe here.
Yeah. It looks like they should lose an extra honor for Shoju leaving. I guess I'll go ahead and remind them about that. That is forced.
All right. So we've got an Earth conflict here at Rally to the Cause.
Could be worse.
Yep.
In fact, that's probably one of the best ones to hit. Scorpions are notorious for having a lot of very, very good provinces for the defense. They've got 2 secret cache, which gives them a fate. They have...
Can't use that charge, it's a political.
Yep. I think he's just a little flustered from having to do having no board right now. He may have wanted to not swap to political, but that again turns on charge for both players. So this may actually work to his benefit. And the assassination comes down. So this is a classic Scorpion versus Crab game where turn 1, neither player has any characters remaining. We're still in the conflict, and Scorpion will use his stronghold to steal a honor. And we are now at 7-7. Both players have 2 fate, and neither has a board.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Alright, and every ring will have fate on it.
This is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
I don't think so either.
So yeah, still anyone's game. No one has a clear advantage. I think it's pretty likely that we'll see Hida Kasada hit the table from Crab, and I don't think we're going to see the favored niece kept. I don't even think we'll keep the favored ground. He needs to pull out a bunch of low-cost characters, Beishi Liar, for example. Maybe a blackmail artist, something like that.
It looks like decides to keep both the niece and the favorable ground.
Fortunately for him, he does draw a Soci-Illusionist, which is a good 2-cost card, as well as a Beishi Liar, which is a wonderful 1-cost card. Over here on the Crab side, MoZi hits a Steadfast Witch Hunter, which will probably see play. It's actually a fair choice between that and Hida Kasada, as well as a Borderlands Defender. We're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Witch Hunter. Now the Witch Hunter is really great because it allows you to basically have an extra character this turn where you normally would not. The plan there being to sacrifice a character which is already attacked and is bowed to ready, say, the Steadfast Witch Hunter again.
And Steadfast Witch Hunter gets better the more low-cost characters you have. That way you have someone a bit weaker to sacrifice in case you wanted to put Fate on any of these other 3-cost characters that Crab has.
Mm-hmm. And they both follow up with a Borderlands Defender and then a Soci-Illusionist. Probably 1 Fate on that. You're going to need to have some characters stick around if you want to maintain board presence. Yep, and it's pretty safe pass for Crab. And I expect the favored niece to come out with probably 1 Fate. Probably just 1.
Some of those events that Scorpion has. Or maybe they're going to save this niece to charge her out during the military conflict, because we do know they have that charge in hand.
Mm-hmm. So all of the rings have Fate on them, which is rather nice. So if he attacks with a military water challenge, the Beishi Liar is not going to be able to participate because it has a dash in military. So that's probably the line we're most likely to see here. We do have to worry about the charge, but that goes both ways. And getting a Kasada out on the field would, not be an awful thing. He elects not to choose the niece. We lost honor dial here. It's a quick copy. Best not to move that.
It just slips through the cracks in the table.
Okay. They've both decided they have enough cards in hand. Scorpion bids 2, which is a strong bid since you can just get that straight back with the Stronghold, and Crab's at 1. Pre-conflict actions. Probably not too much going on here. And then I expect to see, a military challenge come from the Crab, Mida MoZi.
Yep. Let's see here. And they're most likely swinging in with that Steadfast Witch Hunter, and then defending with the Borderlands Defender. and then they can ready the Witch Hunter by sacking that defender.
Yeah.
Um,
Agreed.
and the Water Ring, like you said, military water, good choice here. It prevents the Bayushi Liar from participating in a conflict this turn, who basically then just cost 1 fate to draw a card at the end of the turn.
Which, hey, isn't awful, but when both boards got wiped turn 1, it's very important to start building that now.
Yeah.
Steadfast Witch Hunters is going in. And since the crab also has a charge, I expect Hida Kasada to come out too. If nothing else, for the action ability. I don't think...
Yeah.
Yeah. He chooses Void
Yep.
instead. That's also a fair choice.
Yeah, get the board wiped.
Okay. How many spectators do we have?
I don't know.
A little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah, so they're just referring to us, saying that they think we might be slowing down the game.
Weird. Maybe there's a weak connection.
Possibly.
Well, let's communicate with them real quick.
The favored niece get charged in.
Okay, so that's going to prevent the break. MoZi is still winning, and I think he's content with that. But might as well go for the break, right? At least try and bleed the Scorpion of some cards that they may have in hand.
And looks like we get a Katana out on the Witch Hunter, so that takes it back up to breaking 6-2.
Okay. Oh, and wonderfully, the favored niece is indeed a courtier, so the Steadfast Witch Hunter is probably going to get dishonored here.
That won't change the stats, but a second for shame would bow the Witch Hunter.
And I think that's likely at this point. And then I think we might see the Kasada charge after that happens. Considering the bow, I don't know if that's... Yeah. Seems about fair either way. Okay, he chooses to keep it. There's 1 fate for reprieve onto the Witch Hunter. What is he worried about here?
It can swim.
Yeah.
So, he's worried about.
Yeah, and with a Scorpion at 2. Okay, there's the clear play. This still leaves the Kasada charge open if he wants. But that's also been a fair amount of cards from both players. He might be okay just calling it quits here.
So he also needs to be wary about pulling his niece back home, which he could do to save her for either another defense or an attack. But if that happens, I see out from the crab side to get the break.
Mm-hmm. And he's really thinking about whether or not he wants to charge yet. I think the answer is yes. It's 2 fate, you only want the 1. There we go. Both players are still effectively at 7 honor, so nothing too crazy has happened. Okay, here comes the charge, and this is probably going to get forged. It would be pretty bad for Quesada to come in here and start ruining the Scorpion's play.
Yep, and looks like they're waiting to see if it's going to get forged.
Yeah, the Scorpion doesn't lose too much here. Oh, I don't know why 2 came out. But there we go. And the Dishonor is probably going to go on to the Bayushi Liar since it has 0 glory. And that's probably going to signal the end of this conflict, though I could see favorable ground being used here to pull the Nice back.
He has another forged edict that he accidentally revealed. So.
Yep. And then with that, pressure's on for the Scorpion to make a solid political attack. Water is probably not the best bet. Fire seems okay. Air, always good, though he has to worry about losing and then giving the crab player an extra fate. No keepers yet, so I guess it's not really too much of an issue. So yeah, what's coming up next, do you think? Insanity?
So I think we're definitely going to see a political swing in by the Scorpion player. And they may be looking at water to ready the favorite niece after this conflict, so that they can swing in for a second conflict.
Okay. So, in a flurry of plays here, the Steadfast Witch Hunter used its ability to sacrifice the Borderlands Defender to ready itself after putting on a Watch Commander. With a second for Shame in the hand of the Scorpion player, this is not going to go too well. It does put him at 6-7 to 2.
Yeah, so with another for Shame, I think you steal an honor here as Scorpion, and then you for Shame to bow, and then you pull the niece back. Because now with 0 fate, the crab player doesn't have a lot of options that they can do, and you can then do 2 unopposed attacks.
Yep, and the Void Ring is even going to go back, so the Witch Hunter might not last into next round.
So, well, there's still the reprieve, so she will last in the next round, unless he has.
Oh, that's true.
I can swim to do here, and then go for the void.
Yeah, that's not looking good as the Witch Hunter gets bowed again, and that does not really leave anything for the crab player here. He's just got to hope for maybe a manicured garden, but even that isn't going to save him with 1 fate. Hopefully 2 breaks don't come down, though.
We'll see here. Slayer can go break Shameful Display by himself. So we might see maybe a political water ready the favored niece, breaking Shameful and getting rid of Quesada, and then he can swing in with the favored niece and the illusionist to go somewhere else.
Yep, there it comes down. I didn't expect both to go in here, but he might be worried about an assassination or something similar. Political Water Ring is going to give him 6 strength to 0. Shameful Display is actually interesting here because he can dishonor the illusionist instead.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think you bring both of them in, is because that way he can't use Shameful Display. The Liar is enough to break on its own. It looks like Shameful Display doesn't get used.
Correct. He loses 1 for undefended, excuse me. And then the favored niece is free to hit with a
maybe an air here, and just take another honor away.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, air or fire. Fire could be useful but I think air is the clear choice. Earth isn't awful as well. Yep. Military Earth, going to a new
Increase that
province.
card advantage.
Now, yeah, none of these are really too bad for the Scorpion player to hit here. And if they have a Bonsai or a Katana, that might be the second break in the turn.
Let's see here. I think this puts the crab player in a
bind.
pretty bad spot. Yeah.
So they are going to gain 1 fate as a consolation prize. But facing up against 6 next turn for the Scorpion player, I think they're going to have a hard time keeping themselves going.
Definitely. And there's the Bonsai. I think...
Yeah, no need to pay the kicker. 4 is going to be enough. And a second Witch Hunter is discarded.
Yeah, even though there's no need to pay the kicker, you can and just be that much closer to using your Stronghold again next turn, because then it would be 5-5 right now. And then, again, you just bid 1 higher and then steal it back. Or you play 1 card for free into Watch Commander and then steal it back.
Okay, yep. So Witch Hunter will last for another turn, though. So that's going to be a bit of a saving grace. But with only 8 fate versus 12, it's going to be tough.
Yep. So we'll see here. Maybe that Watch Commander will be enough to swing the favor back in Crab.
Yep, and I think you go probably military favor. Imperial favor, that is. Instead he elects to go political. I guess he's really going to go for the break, and maybe the game might end with a 4-card break. Weird.
Yep.
Doesn't happen too often for Scorpion Splash Crab.
Right, so we've got a Keeper Initiate, 2 Intimidating Hidas, and a Favorable Ground on the Crab side. That Favorable Ground is going to be nice to get that Steadfast Witch Hunter into as many conflicts as possible this turn for Watch Commander.
For the Scorpion, we have 2 Yogo Outcasts, which are going to be of middling importance here. They're not going to reliably be lower honor than the Crab player. And then a Soshiro Actress, which is quite a good card. They can pick up an Intimidating Hida, and I think that's it, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Borderland Defender is a 3-cost card, so yeah, this might be a turn where we actually don't see the Soshiro Actress.
Yeah, so this other Intimidating Hida could be purchased as well and have 2 of them, and if you can force somehow the Scorpion player to pass on a conflict, they lose 2 honor for doing so.
Unfortunately, with a board that is smaller than the Scorpions, we're not guaranteed to see that.
Yeah, but we
Happen
do see
Jeez. All right.
you come out.
A very intimidating board in terms of military strength on the Crab side. However, politics is the weak point. I think in total there's only 5 over 3 characters, opposed to 9, potentially 10 for the Scorpion. All right, shouldn't we go to honor bid? Yeah. There's 2 fate on both air and fire ring. So he's thinking whether or not he wants to play this actress, and I think he's going so. Yep. Nothing wrong with that. Not the best of options in the discard, but if there's a good assassination coming down, it might be okay.
So we're definitely racing towards the bottom of the honor levels. So
Yep, it's 6
we'll see
to
who can
5.
get there first.
The Scorpion Stronghold has been used every turn, and that's been pretty important. That's would have made it 8 to 3 at this point, so definitely getting good use out of that. The Crab, on the other hand, has not had an opportunity to use their Stronghold. I guess it's 3-3, so only twice.
Yeah, I mean they had an opportunity, but they didn't need to use that opportunity because they just cleared the board instead on turn 1.
Mm-hmm. So I believe since the Scorpion player is seeing Crab at 0 fate, they're really considering whether or not they just want to pass here and take a 9th fate. But I think it's too good of an option not to bring out another outcast. And that's what we see here. Do you put a fate on it? Yes, you do.
Yeah, fate starving is always fun though, and
Yeah.
so I definitely see why they were considering it for so long.
Probably low bids. Maybe a 3 coming from the Scorpion. We do see that. The reason why the Scorpion is bidding higher than 1 is because they want to continue to make use of their stronghold. They'll have to wait until the Dynasty phase of the next turn.
Yeah, and I mean this could actually be pretty bad for the Scorpion player going this low because of Witch Hunter being able to participate in potentially 3 conflicts this turn because of that favorable ground.
Mm-hmm. As well as the 2 intimidating Hidas. So if those are not respected, Etaywah could lose this game on accident.
Dishonoring a Scorpion's definitely possible. Not necessarily the easiest thing to do because of their stronghold, but with it already being used and them being down on 4, it could happen this turn.
Yeah, actually, chat brings up a good point. Has the Scorpion Stronghold been used this turn? I can't imagine. It has.
It's bowed. So, we'll see.
Well, what should
Maybe
it?
we'll.
It readied during the fate phase of last turn. Uh, the first opportunity, right, is the Dynasty phase.
I don't know. Let's reach out to Date. Maybe he picked it up and.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I missed that. I'm not sure. But it is the Scorpion's opportunity to attack first.
Yeah, and they're doing the smart thing, playing all their attachments first, so they don't have to play them into a watch commander.
So I think the best thing that can happen right now is the Scorpion has to attack in, and there's 2 provinces left. One of them's defend the wall, and if they pick air, which is a pretty decent option, no, they choose instead to go for water. I don't know if I agree with this fully. 2 fate's a lot to pass up. But I suppose if it is defend the wall, there's no harm in that. He goes up to 9 political strength. And unfortunately for MoZi, he can't leave this undefended. He could leave it undefended, but he really doesn't want to lose a 3rd province and open up the stronghold for a breaking defeat.
Yeah. And I mean, his Witch Hunter's only contributing 3, so he'd have to send in an intimidating Hida and the Witch Hunter, and that would put him at 5 and then 7 after stronghold use, putting him out of breaking range. And it is defend the wall.
Mm-hmm. So there's no reason not to send the Steadfast Witch Hunter right now, since it'll get bowed with the Water Ring. Might as well throw it in there.
Yep.
But it is a tough choice because I don't think there's a way to really defend this and not have the 3rd province broken here.
Yeah. And so maybe you just switch to Dishonor. So you defend with the Witch Hunter and one of the Hidas. Does to make him have to play something to break. Because you're at 5 to his 9, and then you use the Stronghold to go up to 7. So that way he has to play at least 1 card, losing an honor. And attack back with the Hida into air, forcing him to defend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And,
Fortunately, favorable ground does give some options. And if he wins the air ring, it gets the keeper out onto the board. And that's just another body. So even though Crab is down on provinces in terms of breaking, they're actually not in the worst position if they can hold on this turn and not lose a third province.
and it does look like the Scorpion Stronghold was not used this turn. So it looks like they got that corrected and readied the Stronghold so that it could be used. So Scorpion's not in as bad of a position as we thought they were, with the Stronghold already being used. So they're effectively at 5 honor. And we do see that use go right away.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're at 9-7 here. We have a few options available for the Scorpion player. An outwit right here would be pretty easy to send the Hida Guardian home. And with the Hida Guardian, oh, actually, is it equal or greater? I think it's, yeah, so actually that doesn't quite work. But it's still not looking great.
All right, so we see 9-7. This watch commander might be enough to stop the break if the Scorpion doesn't want to lose any honor. But it looks like they're thinking about it, because this break would be pretty impactful.
Yeah, I think right now Crab really has to focus on not losing provinces and trying to just pressure a little bit on honor, and with that eventually start getting some cards back, or at least draining the Scorpion of cards. And after they're at least equal in card advantage, there's an ability to get back in here.
Definitely.
Okay, but it's, again, a really, really challenging choice here for Scorpion if they want to play cards, because they know it's going to cost them honor, and Air Ring is still on the table.
And so it's favorable ground to bring the Witch Hunter into that conflict as well.
Mm-hmm. So an interesting choice. Yep, okay, there we go. Neither player chooses to do anything, and the Water Ring is claimed. It's going to have no effect, but at least the Crab won't get an opportunity to do a military water challenge and bow the Bayushi Lyre. Yeah, I think air seems like a safe bet here.
You see a sword gun down again outside of the conflict before the watch commander can stop it and take some honor.
Yeah. So that brings the Scorpion's military strength all the way up to 10. So even an air ring might not be the most... Well, any ring is going to be difficult to take. The alternative is to maybe try political, but then it's 2-6. Still not great odds.
Well, if both of the outcasts defend, the Scorpion player still loses 2 honor unless they play a conflict character. And I'm not sure that they can do that. Don't know if they have one in their hand. Or maybe an ambush to bring in that actress. Because if they don't defend, they lose 2, or if they don't attack, they lose 2 honor from these Hidas.
Yeah, so probably only one is going to come out here. It's interesting that he selected a face-down province instead of going to the rally to the cause. I would think you want to have the safe bet here. Meditations is going to take a fate off the Hida, which I guess makes the decision for who to sacrifice to the Steadfast Witch Hunter a little easier. So not too awful, but definitely maybe suboptimal, because it could have hit a shameful display. And when honor matters so much, it's a risk.
Yeah. All right.
So we see a pass, followed quickly by a bonsai. And that's answered by a bonsai of the Scorpions. But that's going to cost a fate. That's a big deal.
And that watch commander in before that bonsai went off would have been good.
Okay, we've got a second sword. All right, and that's enough to win the conflict. So we'll have the keeper as well as the intimidating Hida as targets. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think either player has too many more options. And with that, will be the end of the conflict.
Now, if the crab player has an assassination as one of those two cards, they can actually assassinate this other outcast so that they can't declare an attack, bringing both players down. So the crab player would be at 3, and the scorpion player would be at 1, and then he can sack this Hida to ready the witch hunter, and then swing in with the witch hunter and the keeper initiate to dishonor him with a fire ring, just in case he can get a conflict character in, because you can't guarantee the unopposed. And so that would be quite a play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it really does suck, though, having gone to the Meditations on the Tau instead of Rally to the Cause, because I think I'd rather have an intimidating Hida with a sword over the Keeper Initiate, especially since the Keeper Initiate can come back next turn. But the Yogo Outcast is certainly going to make probably a fire challenge here. 2 Fate is too much to give up. Void is another interesting option, but with... Also, I don't see MoZi readying his Witch Hunter yet. Not sure what the deal with that is.
He doesn't need to, because he can defend with the Keeper Initiate.
Oh yeah, and then favorable ground in too. He does have to be sure not to... Okay, he does choose to. There's, I guess, the tempo question of whether or not you want to do it yet. But just blocking with the Keeper, trying not to lose the fight, and then swinging in hard with the Witch Hunter is probably the best line of play here.
And so yeah, I'm not sure if I would have done this. It really just depends on what I've got in my hand. And so obviously, since I can't see the hand, the crab player knows better than I do.
Yeah. Just as a note, the crab player has a fan and a Seeker of Knowledge, while the scorpion has 2 Outwits, a Edict, and a Court Games.
Okay. So we could potentially see defense with the Steadfast Witch Hunter here with Watch Commander to kind of force the Scorpion player to a card or lose honor.
Whoa, this is interesting. So he chooses Fire at Defend the Wall. Now the big risk here is, since it's Defend the Wall, if he wins, he gets the Fire Ring instead of the... oh geez, this might be it here. So if he wins this fight, he gets to dishonor the Bayushi Liar. And when the Bayushi Liar leaves play, he's going to lose an honor. He's also got a Seeker of Knowledge in hand and can respond with his own political attack onto Rally the Cause, I hope this time. Actually, it doesn't matter. But he can attack there, change the conflict to air, steal a fate, as well as an undefended attack. That's game.
Yeah, the problem there, though, is the Illusionist is still on board and hasn't been used this turn.
That's fair.
and so paying 1 fate to not lose the game.
What? And he chooses to honor... He chooses to honor his Steadfast Witch Hunter instead of dishonoring the Bayushi Liar?
I mean, he probably sees that Scorpion player can just pay a fate and would rather have this Witch Hunter, who is sticking around for another turn due to reprieve, honored. Not that it matters because she has 0 glory. So yeah, I don't know. I would have dishonored one of the Scorpion characters, or at least honored one of my characters with glory, like this Hida or even the Keeper.
Yep. So, might get a break here with the fan in hand. A 4 strength political attack coming in. Might as well do air. Bringing the Scorpion down to 1 is pretty solid. And the board is going to look pretty strong for Scorpion next turn. They're going to have the Steadfast Witch Hunter left because Reprieve's going away, Intimidating Hida, a Keeper, and the Seeker of Knowledge with 4 political strength, and that's pretty solid.
Going first, so...
Going first, right now he just wants to decide what ring should have the extra fate, and I think Earth is fine over Void, because he's probably going to want to choose air next turn. Actually, it doesn't even matter. So he gets to take the Earth ring next turn, get that fate back from it, and then swap it to air with the Seeker of Knowledge. If he wins this fight, he can also take out the Yogo Outcast, and that just improves his board strength by a pretty crazy amount. This time he does go after Meditations on the Tau, which is important because it's already used its ability, can't do it again. And Rally to the Cause can be hit at any point later in the game.
And getting rid of that actress will be good. So, do you clear the board here by taking a fate off one of these outcasts, or do you steal an honor to bring the Scorpion player down to 1 here?
Since he's got the Hida, I think I go for the honor. I think you take the honor from him. Actually, it could go either way. It's actually 6s, because you're up on board. It takes a little while to get going, but he's up on board.
Board by even more. Even though the Scorpion player has so much fate, they'll have 14 fate to start the turn with. They'll be able to buy
everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair. So he'll go back up to 3 honor next turn. But he still has a Watch Commander, and he could probably do some shenanigans with that next turn. Keeping it on political seems fine.
Right. And I thought this Meditations broke.
Yeah, it did. It was 4-0.
Yeah, so there we go.
Okay. This is looking like a close game. Certainly at the beginning of turn 3, it looked not great for Crab, but they have managed to hold on. And now they're in a favorable position to pressure Scorpion into Dishonor, as well as break a province or 2.
Yeah, definitely.
The only thing they have to worry about is a bad flop, which the Scorpion got a lot of low-cost characters. In fact, they only totaled 6, so they're not going to be able to really fully utilize the 14 fate they have.
And the Crab player got Suichi.
They got a great hand. This is awesome for the Crab. They have a Vanguard Warrior, which means a Steadfast Witch Hunter lasts for an additional turn. They've got Suichi and a Holding, which means they get a free fate as well as Covert, which is going to be big when you're trying to dishonor someone. And then they have the Hida Guardian, who can use that province or that Holding to give someone a +2/+2. So that's probably one of the best flops you could get. Unfortunately, I don't think he has quite enough fate to do all 3. He could probably do it, but it would be 1 fate on Suichi, and then everyone else would be 0. He would also lose out on the last fate from passing, but probably not. Yeah, I think you put... Oh, miscalculated. He's 4, not 3. He does put 1 on there.
Seeing either the Guardian or the Vanguard this turn, but definitely not both.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see the Vanguard Warrior. There's no reason to let up on board right now. Yep. It'll help for a nice military attack that the player doesn't have much to do with. Okay. Dishonoring with the firing is also pretty relevant this turn since the Social Illusionist left play. However, we'll see if Scorpion decides to add another one. And with 14 fate, I guess they probably will.
there's no reason not to. Gotta stop that dishonor from Fire Ring losing any way you can, and with all the faith that they're gonna have, it should be just fine.
Okay. So the box is online. So that's going to bring Scorpion up to 3. I can't imagine both players will bid more than 1. 1, 1. Yep, there we go. Okay, critically here. MoZi drew a Hida Ambusher, which means he can take a Fate from the Earth Ring if he wants, maybe change it into an Air Ring later, with the Seeker of Knowledge. On top, however, the Scorpion player has drawn a 3rd Edict and an I Can Swim, which is going to be fine. Forge Edicts aren't going to be able to do much here when MoZi only has a conflict character. He does have Suichi, so I guess he doesn't necessarily need to take the Earth Ring. He could take kind of the best one. Air is probably the best choice right now, and just try and go for a double air turn.
He could do a political Earth with Suichi and the Seeker of Knowledge and covert someone, and then he can gain a Fate from Suichi as well as on the Earth, and then treat it as the Air Ring. But then he probably misses on the Air Ring on the way back. So
yeah, so I think the best line of play here is for Air Ring to happen. Potentially sacking... it's not going to happen fast enough. But the Keeper is probably the character getting sacked here to the Witch Hunter this turn. So probably want to use him on this first attack. There's no reason not to. Suichi should go down, giving him the 2nd Fate, as well as coverting someone. And he's probably the target to be unbowed. Might be the Steadfast Witch Hunter. Really depends on how this first attack goes. You want to commit... pretty hard to try and pressure the Scorpion player into defending heavily. Oh, he starts with the politics though. But if he does that, then he's leaving the Air Ring on the table. Yeah, I don't know about this. This seems like a slight misplay.
I think he's hoping that he can defend against the Air Ring.
And just stop it. He doesn't have much politics left, though. He's basically thrown everything he can into this now. But he's gonna get a Fate from Suichi, so I don't see the need for this yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Scorpion player could conceivably just... No, he can't leave it undefended. He could just put a token blocker. Let the province break. But other than that, I don't think there's too much worry about winning this. It's not going to happen. 8-1. Yep. Court games happens. Probably going to drop that onto the... Yep. The guy who's going to die. Okay, and the Manipulator throws it onto the Witch Hunter. That's signaling pretty heavily that there is a I Can Swim at play here.
I Can Swim can't be used, though, because it's 1-1.
That is true. I wonder if they've forgotten about that.
Maybe.
Suichi takes his Fate.
We're still waiting for.
Okay, I think this is a break here. Since no Hida Guardian this turn, he's going to use that card to draw. And he draws a Against the Waves, which is super relevant. Huh? What is that Forge Edict for? Oh, it's from the discard.
Ring, maybe?
It's from the random discard. But, wait, hold on. Why did you draw a card then?
Because the Air Ring is probably getting triggered here.
Yeah, but then MoZi drew a card. Why did MoZi draw a card?
Imperial Storehouse.
Oh, yes. All right, I'm going crazy here. We're still good.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Air Ring was used there to steal an honor. We'll probably see this Keeper Initiate get sacked to ready Suichi, so he has another covert. Yep, there we go.
Though the crazy line here would be to, I guess Secret of Knowledge is once per turn. No, it's not. So he could go for the triple Air Ring. Unfortunately, though, it does only have 0 military strength. So I guess if he was really greedy, he could do that, but it's not going to happen this turn.
Right, and I mean the triple Air Ring would require
3
the
attacks,
Scorpion player to attack
yeah,
the air at defend the wall, which
seems foolish at this point, but yeah. At this point, can the Scorpion player deduce? Ah, yes. Okay, he did forget that 1/1 means I Can Swim is turned off. It's a big that's a minor misplay. It would go on to the Keeper. Yeah, it's not a big deal though, I think. Yeah, so
yeah, and had he bid 1 higher, he would be at 1 honor here, and then he couldn't play I Can Swim to kill the Witch Hunter as long as the Witch Hunter is in the conflict, because then he would lose from Watch Commander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Against the Waves, if I might talk on this for a second, is super relevant here. The Illusionist is a Shugenja, the Outcast is a Shugenja, as well as the Witch Hunter. So he has 3 targets for this 1 card, all of which are going to be between, I guess, on the low end, 3 probably for the Illusionist on a political attack, all the way up to 7 for the Witch Hunter if he wants to do that twice. Yeah, it's a very, very relevant draw.
Right.
Scorpion probably needs to swing in here on air. He can't risk losing it again, and it's probably going to have to go to that face down card, which is probably Meditations. On the other end, we've got a Rally down, a Meditations down, so that basically leaves the 2 air rings, or the air provinces, Manicured Garden, which wouldn't be too bad, and a Secret Cache, which would be, yeah, not great for MoZi, and that would probably leave Entrenched Position on the Stronghold.
Right. So now Scorpion goes after to defend the wall here. I think they lose, because I think you defend with everybody but Suichi at that point. And then you use Against the Waves to ready Seeker of Knowledge, and then you covert the Illusionist, and you get another air ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually another really good reason why he, I guess, picked Earth Ring to go first. He really, actually, both of his cards are really good right now, and losing either of them could have a big issue for him. So
the other card?
What's the other card? What'd you say? Yeah.
Ways and what?
Oh, Hida Ambusher.
Yeah, Ambusher.
And that's the big reason why he went Earth, get the extra fate, and also prevent the card discard. This is a very tough choice for the Scorpion. Void is probably not the right answer. Water might be, if you might go political water to try and bow the Hida Ambusher, or say the Steadfast Witch Hunter. Fire is also relevant, I guess, if you want to go for the Dishonor strategy. Not too great, though. Air, I guess, yeah, it's got to be air, right?
I think he's hesitant about air because he's not confident he can win the conflict without dishonoring, because he's got to imagine that Witch Hunter's going to defend, and there's a Keeper Initiate that can come in as well.
Oh yeah, Keeper Initiate can come back. But he's not going to go to Against the Wall, right? Or defend the wall. That's suicide. So Air Ring on the unflipped province seems to be basically the only choice. The question is whether it wants to be political or military. MoZi does have the Imperial favor, which is going to help. And that Yogo Outcast is sitting at 5 military, so that would require probably blocking with the Vanguard and the Hida.
Yeah.
He also still hasn't used the Sinister Shoshi ability. It's kind of a darker card over there, but it is still relevant. Okay, he chooses for probing attack instead. Probably air just to get it off the table. And it's going probably to the face down, which I imagine is Meditations on the Tau.
It is as well.
And I guess military. Yeah, you're going to keep the Yogo Outcast for defense on the military, which seems fine.
Yeah, but that's who I would covert, is the
That's
military strength guy. So he's just going to get coverted, and depending on the results of this, can happen is he can actually use the Against the Waves to bow the Illusionist and then covert the Outcast to get an unopposed.
Mm-hmm.
And we do see Watering at Meditations on the Tau. Political, though.
Yeah, this doesn't seem the best strategy right here. You mentioned Against the Waves is probably just going to get forged, though dishonoring one of your own characters is particularly relevant, so maybe not, but I think that's not going to trigger. Since just Water Ring, probably throw in the Witch Hunter. Yeah, I think Witch Hunter here is a fine bet. You're going to win. You can unbow it with Against the Waves potentially, and if they try to do anything fancy with it, all you're going to do is lose your Intimidating Hida, but again, that's probably fine.
Oh, sending in Suichi, huh?
What?
Covert.
Over the Hida? I guess he really doesn't want to lose this.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I would have sent in the Hida and just kept Suichi for covert. This covert's going to be very relevant.
Yeah, Suichi does not seem right here. That was a probing attack meant to try and get MoZi to overcommit, and it got MoZi to overcommit. So I guess that's a success for the Scorpion player. Water Ring is going to basically just fizzle here. Both players pass, and that'll be that.
Yeah, and we did see the fate get removed off the rumor monger.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Maybe now would be the time to use Against the Waves if you wanted to bow the Yogo Outcast, because doing so now would cause the Forged Edict to happen during a conflict with a Watch Commander. Yeah, I definitely would do that, I think.
Yeah, because him losing an honor and having to dishonor a character for that would be well worth it.
Yep. Instead, both players pass. Again, maybe another slight mistake. And now it is the Crab's opportunity to make a military attack, this time without covert, since Suichi did get thrown into that battle. Fire Ring is probably the... Fire Ring doesn't do anything, though, because of the Illusionist. Air Ring. It's got to be Air Ring.
I mean, Fire does if he also plays the Waves, and someone gets dishonored from the Forged Edict.
Does this get forged? This has got to get forged.
And they're thinking about it.
Yeah, there's the forge. Dishonor is going on to someone. Doesn't really matter because it's just going to be removed by the illusionist. And then air ring is still an option. So is fire. Both of them are good. But the downside here is MoZi now has to attack into an air province, and that's not great. Void does not seem to be the correct option. Probably a...
I mean, I think air is right here because if you win, you steal an honor, taking him down to 1, and you bring in your keeper initiate, so you still have someone to defend with.
Yeah, I don't think I can see MoZi winning this turn. Choosing Void? What for? Keep your eyes on the prize, people. There we go. It's military. Air. Yep. So the Witch Hunter is going to probably last another turn. So Manicured Garden hits, which gains a fate from the Seeker of Air. And then he's going to gain a second fate due to Manicured Garden itself. Right now it's 6-5 from the Yogo Outcast. But we still have a Soshi... Sinister Soshi, excuse me. So that's going to bring Crab down to 4. He chooses to pre-fire the Illusionist for, I guess, the potential of doing a second Forged Edict. I don't know, though. The logic behind doing it then. Passes all around. And we're going to wait to see if the Sinister Shoshi happens.
Yeah.
There it is. MoZi should probably just pass right now. I don't think he really needs this air ring that badly to have a undefended... okay. He plays it.
Keeper initiate comes in
It's a...
if he wins.
That's true. He does still have someone to defend with. And with a keeper and his castle, he should be okay.
Yeah.
That brings it to, yep, another crab victory there. He's going to take 1. And the keeper initiate comes back. And now I think we've got to see an a fire challenge, a fire military challenge come down at Meditations on the Tau with Associate Illusionist. There's no reason not to, as it has the potential to honor one of his characters and get him back into the honor game. The board looks pretty good for the crab next turn. He can use the Vanguard Warrior to add a fate back to the Witch Hunter. Suichi's going to stay around. He's going to have a Keeper Initiate. Everyone else goes away, though.
Yeah, but a Keeper Initiate, a Witch Hunter, and a Suichi versus an Illusionist and a Soshi?
Yeah, it's definitely advantage towards the... Oh, okay, interesting.
Void to take Suichi off the board.
Yep. Well, or at least having him make the choice between Suichi and...
Witch Hunter.
Yep. Okay, and I think that's going to be it. Both players pass. And that'll be the end of round 4. And you can see here, Crab has a nice stack of 4 rings. Witch Hunter comes back to life.
Yep, and a Witch Hunter, Suichi, and Initiate. That's going to be pretty big.
I could have seen a case for using the Vanguard on the Seeker of Knowledge, but I think this is quite good as well. I think we'll probably see the Hida Guardian get tossed. You've already got a sacrifice target for the Witch Hunter.
I think keeping the Watch Commander around is better than keeping an extra air ring around.
Yep. Okay. Again, Scorpion has 13 honor, so they have an opportunity to fight themselves back into this game if they can get a good flop. They get Hero A and their first player, so they have some options now. Unfortunately for MoZi, he doesn't draw a single holding, so the Shrewd Yasuki. Let me go over this real quick. MoZi draws a Kaio Envoy, a Suichi again, so Suichi's going to last a second turn. Intimidating Hida, as well as a Shrewd Yasuki. Over here on the Scorpion side, they have a Blackmail Artist, which is going to be very relevant if they can get his ability to trigger, giving him an extra honor. We have Yogo Hiroe, who's definitely coming down, probably with 2 or 3 fate on him. Probably 2. I can't imagine more. And then the Yogo Outcast, who again will come out, and a Favorable Ground, which is fine. But again, it leads to a lot of moving shenanigans with the Yogo Hiroe and the Favorable Ground. Over here for the MoZi, Intimidating Hida's got to come out again. It really puts pressure on Scorpion to make sure they make 2 conflicts a turn. And Suichi's going to get sacked. Might as well go for the Envoy. And then Shrewd Yasuki, you could take it or leave it. Okay, yeah, MoZi's at 6 fate. He played the Envoy. We're rerunning that. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like the Blackmail Artist has been bought.
For 2 fate plus 0, potentially.
And the crab just rewound until they had their 7 fate and their Envoy back on the table.
Yep, Kaio Envoy's coming out. I can't imagine anything else.
Okay, all right, and we do see 1 fate go on the Blackmail Artist.
Yeah, so I think turn 1, an air ring, political, not quite all in, but a significant commitment is what we're going to see from Etaywah. He needs to try and get back into the honor game. Sitting at 1, it's going to go up to 2 after the stronghold, but that's still not a very safe position.
Yeah, and then he can get up to 5 on a political air ring if he wins with the Blackmail Artist by stealing 1 and gaining 2 from the air.
Mm-hmm. And he can use Hiroe's ability to pull in Suichi, which means he's not going to have that option of covert when MoZi counterattacks.
Well, he can still ready Suichi with the Steadfast Witch Hunter ability, sacrificing the Envoy to do so.
Or the Keeper Initiate. Both are reasonable choices here, actually. If he wants the card, he'd go for the Envoy. But if he's happy to get the Keeper back, that might be the other option.
Yeah.
Yep, he elects for 0 fate onto the Yasuki. Yeah, he's not going to get the fate from passing this turn since he still has 2 actions left he needs to do. Intimidating Hida comes out with 1. That's the rest of his fate. Keeps it as Imperial Favor as a note. Scorpion passes after playing a Yogo Outcast. And then we see Suichi, who will last 1 additional turn. And it's the honor bid.
MoZi definitely wants the fate in the card here just because
the Ready Strong
they're at 0 of both.
Yeah, one's coming all around. There we go. Yeah, chat points out that he could have probably waited 1 more action, used the Scorpion Stronghold to take an honor, and then bid 2 during this conflict phase, or during the draw phase, and that would turn on I Can Swim, and that would immediately be able to be used with his 2 fate to kill the Steadfast Witch Hunter before she gets a chance to be used, and that would be big.
I think MoZi predicts that then and goes for 2 himself.
Yeah. So Blackmail Artist, Hiroe, Air Ring seems to be the choice. Defend the Wall might be an option, because I don't know if you really want to lose a Fate from Hiroe, but it's super dangerous to go to Defend the Wall. Especially, for example, if he has like an assassination in hand. He has the honor to spare. The Scorpion player does not. And it's going to be tough to win with 6 characters and the castle available to Hida MoZi.
Right. And I think if he does go to defend the wall with the air ring, I think MoZi just defends, claims the air ring, and then Ready Suichi coverts someone and then swings in himself with the fire, force that illusionist to get used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And whoever gets, or whatever challenge goes down here, you mentioned earlier that the Shrewd Yasuki is going to be committed, and he's going to be able to use that ability before the favorable ground goes away. So that's a win there. Air Ring, you think here, or do you go fire for the extra fate? You've got 2 outwits, and I can swim, and a Forged Edict, and then 1 mystery card that we don't know yet.
So, a ton of cards though, because I imagine the Witch Hunter's being committed to the first conflict as well.
Yep.
And so that'll be a Watch Commander that stops those outwits from being played, and the Forged Edict. And it does look like he is going air.
You should throw in the Blackmail Artist as well. Yep, that gives him 6. He can pull in whoever he wants, and then even disengage if he wants with favorable ground. Because in theory, yeah, MoZi will put in the Yasuki. He'll use the Yasuki first. Hiroe can pull someone in, and then he can favorable ground to take Hiroe out if he doesn't think he's going to win. Yeah, this is a pretty good line of attack for...
Yeah, and I mean, Meditations and Defend the Wall, neither of them are great choices for this, because you want to keep Hiroe for another turn, but you don't want him to win the defense and take the air ring and steal your honor.
Mm-hmm. So at 6, on the crab side, he can easily muster... I mean, Yasuki's going in. The Keeper's probably going in. And then the Steadfast Witch Hunter might be a good alternative. And then he also has the political favor.
And his Stronghold.
And the Stronghold. So that's more than enough to defend this. Either way. He goes to defend the wall. That might be it.
So Witch Hunter definitely comes in. In fact, I think I consider defending with everybody but the Hida here. Suichi, covert one of the characters with Suichi, and then have my Hida back.
Okay, there's Suichi. Yep. Get that Keeper in there too, I think. I think no reason not to put the Keeper in there. Because if he wins, the Keeper comes back, and you can sacrifice the Keeper.
I mean, the Keeper and the Envoy. No reason to not to put them both in.
This game is greedy. Greedy indeed. Okay. So, barring that one card being... What could that one card even be? Like a blackmail, but he's not running blackmail. I can swim turned off. A fan doesn't do too much.
He can't afford black. Must.
Yeah, that's fair. And he's gonna Yasuki right now. There's the Yasuki. This is definitely it. Take an event. Doesn't really matter what here. Okay. And the favor, yeah, we should mention that. Yep, we both reminded him. It's all good.
Yeah, so 6 to 9 with the possibility to go up 4 more from the stronghold.
Okay, so it's an outwit coming down.
Then honor for that, and I think that's the game. Now it's 6 to 6. Stronghold gets used.
Well, so now he can use a second outwit, right? Hold on, why didn't that cost a fate?
Plus a fate as well.
Yep. So a second outwit could happen here. And that would leave... Yeah, actually that's a... Suichi goes home.
Not if he uses his stronghold.
Yeah.
So
he should have stronghold before the Yasuki, I think. I know he was worried about favorable ground going away before he got a chance, but if he stronghold, he was able to keep both Suichi and the Steadfast Witch Hunter in the fight, which is crucial.
Yeah.
As of now, though, he's going to lose 3 honor the next outwit. A rebuild comes down. And is there a favorable ground in there? Yes, there is. Oh my gosh. That's going to be big.
That's going to be huge.
Oh, but there is the edict possibility. Does he choose to spend an edict? Dishonor? He's got to dishonor one of the characters in the fight, though. Sinister Shoshi, isn't that Koichi, is it? Nope. Which would be -1. And it triggers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he can afford to let one of his characters dishonor.
Okay. He is thinking about the edict. What? Rewinding a little bit? I don't know why that's happening. Because the deck got shuffled? I guess. Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay, so the Forged Edict comes down, and they decide that shuffling the deck is very important, so we reround 5 or 6 times. He has to dishonor a courtier, so it has to be the blackmail artist. Has a fate on him, though, so it's going to be okay for now, especially since he has an illusionist. He can get rid of that later. That also prevents his Suichi's ability from triggering. He still does have 1 card in hand, though. Yeah. This is tough. If he strongholds and suspects a second outwit, then what? He probably should... Oh, he has a Way of the Scorpion. It's a nice pickup. On his Suichi, bringing him down to 4. Then the stronghold comes down. And then we see another outwit. or the Sociologist. That's another fair play. And it's coming down to very little here. I think not putting in that Keeper Initiate is really starting to hurt MoZi here. If he had had that... Why is he paying an honor?
No, he's just marking that he's used Sochi.
Okay.
Putting in that illusion, or putting in that Keeper Initiate would have put him up 2 here.
5 to 7, and that would have been a big deal. It would have cost everything.
Cast that next outwit and see where we go from there.
Yep. And unfortunately, this means probably Hiroe is gonna win this fight. Scorpion's gonna go back up to 3 honor. But that being said, Crab does have a lot of good cards left on the field. He could swing in with the Intimidating Hida and maybe the Initiate. He can still ready Suichi. He can probably get 2 breaks this turn if he tries, though he probably wants to go in with a military here and then try for the political on the Stronghold. Yeah, but he's going to steal 1 with the Blackmail Artist, and then 2, and he's going to gain 2 from the Air Ring.
So take him up to 4.
Taking him up to 4, bringing MoZi down to 5, but MoZi will have quite the board to handle still. Okay, MoZi is passed. So right now we don't know MoZi's card, but we do know that Etaywah has a I Can Swim, as well as a Outwit. Outwit's no longer going to be an issue this turn, since both the courtiers will be bowed. Yep. And he takes the Air Ring, so he's going to gain 2 honor and take 1. Meaning the honor-dishonor victory is probably going to be on hold for now. MoZi's got to swing in here, military. Probably with the Intimidating Hida. Might as well sacrifice the Caillou Envoy now. Get the extra Phaeton card. And ready Suichi.
Yeah, that could be very, very useful.
And as for Ring, Fire seems good. It gives you a Fate, as well as Dishonoring Hiroe, for example, or maybe the Illusionist. Force Etaywah to spend that last Fate, removing one of the Dishonor tokens. Earth Ring also seems like a fair play. He goes with a really large military attack here. No Suichi. He's going for a break. Hopefully it's on the Manicured Garden. Seems to be a much stronger point than... Yep, he goes for Void. And now he's pivoting from the Dishonor victory to the Breaking victory. He's going to sit at 7-11. Isn't that 11?
Should be.
There we go. Could you consider undefending this? You're not really worried about Fate anymore or Honor anymore.
I'd be a little worried about it.
I mean, you're going to get 1 more back this turn with the Stronghold, though. Yeah, the biggest problem, though, is potentially losing to the break on your Stronghold. But even then, that's not too bad. Scorpion will have a lot of political skill. And there's almost certainly a entrenched position up there. Maybe a rally to the cause, but I could see entrenched position.
Yeah, so the Scorpion player has 6 political on the board right now. If they don't defend here, then they lose an honor. And then if they don't attack, they lose another honor. And then it gets readied.
Yeah. I mean, the theory is, though, here, if you don't defend, you get to attack next. And you get to take a fate for the Earth Ring, and you get to start dishonoring even more of the Crab's characters, or honoring your own.
Yeah. But if they do attack next, there might be a big enough political swing.
Yep. Okay. So he goes with a pseudo. Oh, yeah, I like this a lot, actually. So he's bringing in Hiroe. Hiroe hasn't used his ability yet to drag in the Keeper Initiate. He's going to lose the province, but he's only going to lose the fate off of Hiroe. Yep, there we go. And I think that's probably going to be the end of this conflict. The Yogo Outcast is going to have an option to attack. Defend the wall again, I guess. Why not? Go crazy. And we'll see if the Envoy gets sacked to probably ready the Witch Hunter.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Or Suichi would be the other option, but Suichi Dishonored is a lot less of a threat than he used to be.
The Witch Hunter commander to defend.
Yep. Okay. Pre-conflict, that envoy is going away into a Witch Hunter ability. And draws a card. Might see an Earth Ring come down. Or Fire for the Fate. Fate's pretty relevant.
Yeah, Fate is definitely relevant here.
And there has been a political already this turn, so we're on military.
And that Witch Hunter is definitely going to survive the military. Stop a break.
Mm-hmm. So the board next turn is
Dishonored Suichi and Hida versus Blackmail Artist.
And a Outcast. The Fate has tied up. Same thing with Honor. This has been a very back and forth game. And I think we're only on turn, turn 5?
Let's see. I think so.
Yep, and this is going to go to Meditations. Military. 1 strength attack. Chooses to defend. Maybe Drew and I can against the waves. That'd be pretty sick. Okay.
Yeah. All right. You can't see Nant anymore, so you don't know what he's got.
I know, I'm immortal just like you.
Yeah. Against the way would be.
Yeah. Well, what would you do it with, really? I mean, it wouldn't gain you too much.
In Earth.
Yeah, it would get you an Earth Ring. Oh! A reprieve! He's got the reprieve, everyone! The Witch Hunter has stayed around here since turn 2. Hopefully a Calling in Favors doesn't happen. If he has a Calling in Favors, this would be big. We'll see here how many he runs. And he runs 0 Calling in Favors, so that's not an issue he has to worry about. There we go. I think that's the end of round 5.
So, Witch Hunter, Hida, and Dishonored Suichi versus Blackmail Artist and Outcast.
Yep.
And 9-8 Fate.
Pretty even.
And Kravis
MoZi,
first.
yep, his first player. He maintains the favor on political. It was 2 rings
A ring
to
off.
1 ring, but the Yogo Outcast was standing, so it's 2-2, and it stays as a political favor for the crab. Vanguard Warrior, and a Witch Hunter. Versus Shoju, a Liar, or Abayushi Manipulator. Sinishu Soshi and a Niece. I think we're going to see the Soshi, certainly. Definitely Shoju with maybe 1 Fate. Maybe 1 Fate seems relevant here. Both Vanguards are going to come out. Maybe 1 Vanguard and a Witch Hunter for the crab.
Yeah. Joju's so good for Scorpion here. But it also makes it unlikely that he'll be able to declare 2 attacks.
Yep. I think the biggest thing they're probably worried about right now is I Can Swim is going to come up. Both players need to bid relatively high now that they have some honor to work with. I think MoZi might get a little scared here and forget about it. I think favor has to stay on. Right?
Yeah,
Am I right on that?
It's too late to change it, but he did have 2 rings to 1.
But the Outcast was
2
standing. Favor was tied.
Yeah.
I'll tap that up real quick. A levy happens. Okay. He drew levy 1 turn too late. Unless Outcast at 0. Am I right on that? Yes, one. Okay. The Outcast. Nope. Yeah. All right. It's currently Etaywah's second. Hold on.
They're still deciding for the levy.
Ah, yes. Okay. I think you'd be fine giving a fate here. Okay.
It's an honor.
Fair enough. So I think the Witch Hunter comes out with 0, and the Vanguard comes out with 0 as well. I Can Swim's probably going to hit the Witch Hunter with the Watch Commander. It really depends, though, on how much either of them bid. Both of them bid, I suppose. Maybe 1-1 is too conservative. Etaywah is probably going to bid 3 or 2. 2 or 3 at this point.
Yeah. He'll have to use the Stronghold, I think, to bid 3.
Second Vanguard comes out. And the Manipulator is being thought about. Instead, he chooses to pass, staying at 3. 2 of that's probably going to go to I Can Swim. The second Witch Hunter is followed there. And we go into the honor bid without Scorpion using his stronghold, which means he is probably limited to bidding 3. So Crab should probably also bid 3. Instead, they bid 2. I Can Swim is off the table. Passes an honor over. It's going to go to 5-4 with the stronghold. Crab has the first attack. He's probably going to go for a military attack here. At least I know that's what he would like to do. Unfortunately... Oh, he probably goes air, right? To get 2 keepers on the board to murder and unbow all of his awesome steadfast witch hunters.
And then he's got 2 vanguards to keep the witch hunters around again.
Yep.
Hida can force an honor loss if there's no defense. Or if there's not 2 attacks, I mean.
Yeah, so the big question you have right now is, can you go all in on a military air challenge on the province? It's probably...
Yeah.
It's probably in transposition. He does have covert, so we can say, Shoju, you can't come along. And without Shoju there, they just have the blackmail artist as a courtier, which means a lot of the outwit isn't going to be as strong. Yeah, I could see an all-in going right now. An all-in on air. Military stronghold. Do it. Let's go.
And covert Shoju.
But I mean, in situations like this, you can get really worried that if you fail this attack, you'll be put onto the back foot. But it's going to be okay. You have a watch commander. Yep, there it is. There's the big swing. There's not the big swing. I want to see this big swing happen. All right, we see a pre-conflict sword come out. That happens because of the watch commander. We see a poison come down. Yeah, the Scorpion could have anything from Rally to the Cause or Entrenched Position. I think it's got to be Entrenched. In fact, actually, we do know, right? It's Rally to the Cause. It's not a military. That's crazy. It should be... Yeah, okay. He has Rally to the Cause. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. As the water. There is no earth. It's probably Rally. Knowing that, do you commit to political to begin with, and then save your military for the second attack? Maybe you do.
That could be good. Especially since he just played a... but the question is it the rally or is it the secret cache?
Oh, I can't imagine putting the secret cache there. It's got to be Rally.
Yeah.
It's secret cache? That's game. I think that's game.
Right.
Unless...
We'll
yeah, but unless this is a... I don't know. What could save you here?
No.
Yeah, I think that's probably game.
Let's see, because he'll have 7 military to defend with if Shoju's coverted, which I imagine that's who it was, versus, what is this?
Four, 9, 10, 18.
Versus a possible 7?
Well, versus, yeah. 5 from the outcast, right? Because he's lower honor. 1 from the blackmail artist, and 2, so that's 8. And that's probably not going to cut it. You could send home a Vanguard Warrior with the outwit.
You lose an honor for that privilege.
You would. I think that's okay though. I think Scorpion's kind of in emergency mode. Yeah. Chat brings up that an outwit would take the witch hunter home because the witch hunter is currently at 0 political right now, or 1 political. But that just means you have to deal with the witch hunter again later, which is not great.
And that does take out 5 military, dropping it down to 13.
Mm-hmm. 13 to
13
8.
to
Well, 6, and then it's 11 to 6, and then there's 3 cards, or 2 cards. Hold on, Shoju is covert? Did I forget covert?
I forgot covert.
No, you can't forget covert in a time like this. You crazy?
I think you can.
Man.
So now he can outwit anybody.
Is covert optional? Yeah, help me out here, chat. Is that a judge ruling, or is that just a forget? A misplay? Covert is not optional. All right.
Covert. Yeah.
Unless he chooses to covert the sinister Shoshi.
I mean, he could. Let me see here.
Yeah, covert is non-optional. You have to choose someone. I guess you can technically choose the Soshi here, but it has to be declared.
Covert may be the special one that is optional, because if everybody across the board has covert, then covert can't fire. Covert is someone that has covert.
Yeah, I'm just confused why this isn't final here. Okay, well, I mean, it's not awful, right? He's still probably going to win this fight. No, it does not say May. Chat. It says, when this character attacks, choose one character without covert. Goes for a rebuild. I guess he's going to send favorable ground back. Gain a fate from that as well. I mean, he doesn't have to.
Covert is a may in the rules reference. That player may choose one character without covert controlled by the defending player. Each chosen character is considered evaded by covert and cannot be declared as defender for that conflict. That's directly from the rules reference. So covert is optional.
Okay. Well, it's okay here then, I guess. Yeah. Hold on. Shouldn't he have lost an honor for using outwit?
He was at 4.
Okay, he used the stronghold ability. That's what happened. Okay. So yeah, he's going to lose one more here from the air ring, and then there's a potential of another one happening with an undefended attack that's fire that puts a dishonor token on someone else and ends the game that way.
He loses 1 from the air here. And then
Why are we fighting still? I guess this is fine.
1 for passing his conflict to the Hida. And then he'll lose 1 for unopposed. Guess break the province works as well. 15 to 9 breaks.
Is this enough to break? Are we counting right?
Let's see. Intimidating Hida is 5.
5 plus 5 is 10.
5.
Plus 1, yeah. Plus 2, it's even 2 more than this. Should be 17, right? Okay, so was that GG? I think that was GG. GG. All right. And there we have it.